started. Oh, we're recording. Great. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday night Epic Empire team call. I am so happy you are here. Hi, Rebecca. You're in Colorado. So Team Life Changers is a hybrid team out of Epic Empire. It's led by, she's got her diamond posters up. She's hosting her very first retreat. And so it's so exciting as a kind of a mama bear, right? I signed Rebecca, 2 years ago, and here she is becoming her own entity, and her team and her tribe is super strong, and they're like family. I love seeing them, and when I look at her downline, it's like, ooh, amazingness. So congratulations, Team Life Changers. If you're on here, have so much fun this weekend, and I'm excited to be training you guys on Friday, I believe. So, and you've got a lot of amazing people from corporate who are going to give you special training as well. So take lots of pictures, have lots of fun, blast that social media, and make it an amazing experience. All right, I'm going to stop talking about that and introduce our speaker tonight. I'm so pumped because I got to hear him at our Super Saturday in DC, and this is going to sound really bad, Josh. Please don't hate me for saying this. I'm on the DC Council. I run the DC Super Saturday. Myself and Greg are the leaders of the council, and we brought it from 25 people to we've maxed out at about 1,200 people. So it's a pretty huge event, and people kept saying, and I'm actually in charge of bringing speakers, so I bring all the speakers on, and somebody said, well, we're going to invite Josh Coates. I'm like, who's that? And over and over again, I kept saying, I forgot to look you up. I'm like, I don't know who this dude is, but apparently everybody thinks he's cool, so I guess he's going to be great. And I had no expectations going in because I didn't know who you were. And then you could take the stage, and he throws it down. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is incredible. And I think I came up to you after the call, and I'm like, you got to follow me on Instagram. We're taking after the call, after your presentation, and we're dancing, taking pictures on my Insta stories. But I was so impressed by you, and I was like, I have to have him speak to my team, speak life into my team, because when you talk, it all clicks and makes sense. And I was begging my coaches, please be on live, because being on live is a totally different experience than listening to the recording. So I'm going to read the credentials here. You are a speaker and trainer at the John C. Maxwell team, which is pretty incredible. If you guys have read any of John C. Maxwell's, I've read Failing Forward, The Irrefutable Laws. I actually flew out to Colorado and Denver and did his training with Tracy Morrow. So I love everything John Maxwell. He speaks to my heart, and he is an incredible personal development guru. So he is a part of the John Maxwell team. He's also founder and owner at Josh Coach Push Coach. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe I can let you explain that. But most importantly, he has a heart and a passion for helping people grow, evolve, and change. And so he is about to drop the mic. And I'm going to give you the floor, Josh. I'm going to mute my line. And feel free to take notes, post questions in the chat, and maybe we can do a Q&A at the end. All right?
Absolutely. Lots of chat. I am a peacock. If you don't know personality types, the DISC personality type, I kind of have made my own with animals. Jitanya, you'll love this. This is something that I learned at a seminar at my day job 10 years ago. I've always said it's the only good thing I took away from having a day job was this one seminar where they explained personality types in animals. So I'm going to run them down real quick because it has nothing to do with my call, but because I'm a peacock, and you'll understand what the heck that means and why this is happening in just a second. Okay? 4 personality types in 2 minutes. Ready? A rhino is full force ahead, super outgoing, super what we would call self-motivated, usually what we call the natural leaders. They're like, join me or get out of my way. Okay? They're full force ahead. They seem like they're people person, but to be honest, they don't really like people. They're just outgoing enough that people tend to hop on board with them. Number 2, we have the peacock. Whoa, gosh, someone just got unmuted. Someone really loud just got unmuted. So then we have the peacock. I think that was probably a peacock that got unmuted. Peacock, we are in the spotlight all the time. All we want is all the attention all the time. Our motto is party now, plan later. And by later, we mean never, because we never plan, we just party. I think Jatan is probably like me, where she's half peacock, half rhino. Okay, perfect. Then we have golden retrievers. Golden retrievers are loyal, faithful. They love. I think someone got unmuted again. Someone is unmute happy tonight. They love to be.
Make sure you mute your lines when you jump on, and Nicola mutes them as she finds them.
Perfect. I see, again, I'm peacock. I'm all party. I get distracted. Peacocks, we all have ADD. Whether it's clinically proven or not, we all have ADD. Golden retrievers love to be a part of the crowd. They love to be a part of what's going on. They love to be a part of the community. They love to be a part of the tribe, but they don't like to be the person that's doing the talking. They don't like to be the person that is actually making the plans. In other words, they like to be kind of like the behind the scenes kind of a person. Okay? They're very, very, very much driven by purpose, by mission, but they don't like to be the one. If I called you out right now and you're a golden retriever and asked you to speak for 5 minutes, you would shit yourself right now. Like right now, okay? Then we have the owls. The owls are the exact opposite of a peacock. Instead of party now, plan later, they say plan now, party later. And by later, they mean never, because owls never party. They only organize and structure, and they love spreadsheets, and they love color coding everything, and they love to correct my grammar on Facebook. Notice I have I'm a little salty toward the owls, but it's because we're opposites. I'm a peacock, which means I'm full energy all the time. With or without caffeine, I would be all energy, and yet I choose to have caffeine anyways because it's just that much more fun. So tonight we're going to be high energy. We're going to be all over the place, which you're probably used to because Jatania's Instagram is like the best in the world. It's like a party every day, and I love it. As a fellow peacock, I love it. So that means I need stuff over in the chat box, because in-person speaking is my favorite, because I get to feel off of the reactions of you. And because we have to mute everybody because of the fact that your husband is watching TV right now or your kids are watching Netflix, I don't get to hear any feedback from you. The only feedback I get from you is this chat box, okay? So give it all to me in the chat box, because tonight I'm going to teach you the only way to succeed. There's only one way. Only one way. And I love making bold statements like this because then I have to live up to it. My favorite. Anyone else listen to Grant Cardone? Raise your hand if you listen to Grant Cardone. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. First homework assignment. Everyone must download the audiobook called 10X Rule. It's called 10X Rule. Jenny's like, that's how we know she's a peacock. She's like, oh, I've listened to that.
The author. I read the book.
Okay. Go download the audiobook tonight. His name is Grant Cardone. Here, I'll put it for you. Grant Cardone, 10X, whoops, not 1 minus 10X Rule. He has another book called Be Obsessed or Be Average that is also phenomenal, okay? I love to make bold statements because then I have to live up to it. And tonight we're gonna live up to it. I'm gonna teach you the only way to succeed. You already know it. Unfortunately, according to Josh statistics, 90% of you aren't living by it. At least not in your business. Now, some of you are living by it in your health and fitness journey, but you have not taken the time to apply what you learned in your health and fitness journey to your business, and that's what I constantly do. Every team call that I do, every webinar that I do, every training group is basically me taking principles you've already learned on your health and fitness journey and helping you to apply them to your business journey. Our number one mistake as humans is that we learn lessons and we think that these lessons only apply to this one area over here. But everything we learn in life applies to everything we do in life. So if you learn a lesson in health and fitness, it applies to your business. How many of you wake up early or stay up late to work out? Raise your hand. Almost everyone, because let's face it, nobody wants to work out at noon, right? Nobody wants to work at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we usually work out first thing in the morning or right before bed. We stay up late, whatever. Now, I'm not going to ask, but if I asked how many of you wake up early or stay up late to work your business, I'd be willing to bet we'd only see 50% of the hands. Am I right? See what I'm saying? We learn one thing in health and fitness, we don't apply it. I got 3 words for you tonight that you already know. You've heard them 1,000 times. You just aren't doing it in your business. Now, how many of you, when you go to do your workout and it pops up at the beginning, the whole Beachbody logo, and you like sing along because it's like Beachbody? Anybody else do that? Like, I can't help it. Doom, doom, do, 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 doom, Beachbody. I do it every single time. And it's got these 3 magical words. It says decide, commit, succeed. You have already learned it. In fact, you've been pre-programmed subconsciously by those 3 magical words to know how to succeed when it comes to health and fitness. Every person on this call, we've got 27 people. So I'm one of them. So all 26 of you want to have a higher level of success, or you wouldn't be here, correct? You wouldn't have showed up tonight. You wouldn't be giving up a night. You'd be watching Netflix, or you'd be, I don't know, what do people, I don't even know what people do these days. It's like, I would always use Netflix, or you'd be scrolling your news feed, or you would be playing with filters on Snapchat. If you weren't here tonight, you'd be doing one of those things. But you're here tonight because you want to have a higher level of success, correct? But unfortunately, most people aren't willing to do what it takes to have that higher level of success. You cannot get success without first deciding and committing. And I want to walk you through specifically what these 2 words mean to your business. Because most of you on this call, if you are not having the kind of success that you want to have, which by the way, none of us are, because we should always have a higher level that we're trying to get to, regardless of how far you've climbed. John Maxwell at the age of 70, still writing new books. He's wrote over 90 books now. He's still putting out new content because he's still learning, because he's still climbing. But every single level that we want to go to, how many people on this call are pushing for Emerald? Raise your hand. Okay. How many people on this call are pushing for Diamond? Raise your hand. How many people on this call are trying to end the year at Premier? Raise your hand. Anybody pushing for Elite? Raise your hand. Laura's pushing for Premier and Elite. Let's knock both of them out, okay? Let's make them both happen. Let's just go straight for Elite, okay? 10x that shit and let's go to Elite, okay? So that's the level of success that you're pushing for. But if you haven't attained it, it's because you haven't yet followed through with the decision or the commitment. Now, number 1, the first step to success, the first thing every single one of us must do is make a decision. How many times have you told people? You get messages from people. Hopefully you message them first and aren't sitting around waiting for them to message you. And you message people and they're interested. And how many times have you heard somebody say something like this? I have to join your next challenge group. I don't have a choice. If I don't get my crap together now, my doctor said I could die in the next 5 years, or I have diabetes. I literally have to do, people come to you with this sense of urgency. They know they have not taken care of themselves for long enough that it's finally starting to kill them and they need your help right now. 1 week into the challenge group, they've been abducted by aliens and no one has heard from them. Their Facebook has disappeared. Their Instagram has disappeared. Their Snapchat has disappeared. Their Pinterest has disappeared. Everything that you can possibly trace back to them has disappeared. What happened to that person? I thought they were all in. I thought they were willing to do whatever it took. Problem is, they never truly made the decision to make a change. They felt the pain of where they were at. And they knew they needed to make a decision. And they made the commitment. They paid the money. They got the challenge pack. Maybe even opened the bag of Shaco. Maybe even fixed the shake 3 or 4 days in a row. But what happened that they were not prepared for? Jitanya, is this a cuss friendly environment? Yay or nay? If it's nay, it's okay. A, okay, then I'll keep it low. That's fine. It's fine. I just have to know. If it's no, that's totally fine. But I don't want to
we have some church worship leaders and
That's fine. That's fine. I was a church worship leader for many years. But now I'm a public speaker and I can say what I want and no pastors get on to me. But I always respect other people. So I'm happy to know that. So I will use words like suck and crap. Okay. So they made the commitment. They bought the challenge pack. Okay. But what they did not prepare themselves for was the battle that was coming their way. How many of you can remember the first week that you worked out and how bad you got your butt handed to you? Anybody remember that? I remember my first week of P90X, man. I'm an old schooler. I did P90X back in the day when we still had these things called DVDs. And I remember I did chest and back, which is day one of P90X. And honestly, I'm a little weird in the sense that I was so excited for it. I like crushed the workout. I hadn't worked out since like my high school, like sports days. And I was just so pumped to get back in shape. I like crushed the workout and I was like, dang, that wasn't even hard. I laid down and took a nap and I woke up 30 minutes later and every muscle in my body felt like it had been like it felt like freaking Jack and the Beanstalk had just like trampled on me for like 2 days. And basically I felt like I was going to die. But you know what I did? I woke up the next day and allowed Tony Horton to kill me again. And I woke up the next day and I allowed him to kill me again. And he killed me day after day after day after day until around week 3, it no longer felt like I was being killed. You see, my body had already started to evolve and it started to get used to this process. And now it knew it was coming. Most people do not understand that from an emotional level enough to know what's coming and to know how to face that battle. Now, if you are on this call tonight, I'm trusting that you have at least faced that battle on your health and fitness journey, even if you still have a ways to go. Okay, we all have a ways to go. Okay, I still don't have Jitanya 6-pack abs. I've got room to grow. I don't have Sagi arms. Okay, I've got room to go, but I've at least figured out the battle that I'm in it, and I'm going to fight it. But then we sign up for this business thing. And for some reason, we thought it was going to be easy. We thought that we were going to post on social media 2 times a day. We thought that maybe if we had the right filters, maybe if we had the right colors, maybe if we did our hair just good enough, that somehow magically people would reach out to us and we would just like make 6 figures in the next 6 months just posting on social media. We were not prepared for the battle, the emotional battle. That's the true battle that we're fighting every day, is the emotional battle. The same with our workout. How many of you, let's be real honest here. Let's be honest. How many of you went to check off your vital behaviors and you get to that one that says invite, 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 and instead you go work on a website? Or you go start a brand new social media because apparently there's some brand new social media site that if you get in at the very beginning, it's Periscope. If you get in at the very beginning, you're going to be successful. 6 months later, it's nowhere to be seen. But you avoid the thing you should be doing to go find something else to hopefully find something that's easier. This is why the health and fitness industry is overtaken by quick fixes. Because people don't want to do the work it takes. People don't want to. And people definitely don't want to be in it for the long haul. People want to take a pill or take a shot that lets them lose the weight so that they can look the way they want to look and go back to eating pizza. Not realizing that eating pizza will get them right back to where they were. Now, I'm not against pizza. I definitely have some intentional pizza once a week, but not 7 nights a week. Okay? And everyone wants the easy way out. And so what we do is we never fully make the decision to be all in. My first 6 months in business, when I signed up for the John Maxwell team and I decided I wanted to go all in, really what I did was I decided to go all in for 2 or 3 weeks. and I would run into this thing that is technically called your terror barrier, but we won't get into too much of that. Basically, I ran into my limiting beliefs. For me personally, I grew up in a very religious home, and kind of the message that was preached to me was that you're either in God's perfect will or you're in sin. And so in my head, I kind of had this concept of, I don't know if the John Maxwell team is exactly what God wants me to do. And if it's not exactly what he wants me to do, maybe it's sin and maybe I missed God. Now, through time and through John Maxwell books, I've come to understand this thing. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. There isn't winning and losing, there's winning and learning. But it took me 6 months to face that limiting belief of thinking. Now, really, this isn't a religious talk, okay? This isn't a religious talk. God doesn't have a problem with you chasing your dreams. You have a problem chasing your dreams. So you pin it on God so that you can feel better about not doing it. Just going to throw that out there. If you grew up with a religious background like me, I have nothing against religious. I'm still a religious person. But sometimes we take on things that really have nothing to do with God to try to justify our own laziness. Maybe God doesn't really want me to be on the John Maxwell team. Yeah, of course. God doesn't want you to help people and change lives because he'd rather you go back to watching Netflix. Let's be real here. If you didn't have this business, you'd all be watching Netflix right now. This is not a matter of right or wrong. It's a matter of, are you going to make a decision to do what you believe is best for you and your family? But because I was struggling with that decision, I was all in for 3 weeks and then pulling away for a couple weeks, and then all in for 3 or 4 weeks and then pulling away for a couple weeks. The compound effect does not work when we are 3 or 4 weeks in, 3 or 4 weeks out. What we think is that we can pull out for 3 or 4 weeks and that we can jump right back in where we left off, and that is not how it works. John Maxwell says the road to growth is always uphill. Do you know what that means? When we step out of our growth journey, we don't stay put, we slide back downhill. Our business in our lives, our relationships, our health, everything we have, we are always progressing or regressing. And for most of you on this call, that's the reason, that's the reason you aren't where you want to be. Is because you are on a constant journey of progress, regress, progress, regress, progress, regress, progress, regress. 6 months later, why doesn't this work for me? Why doesn't it work for me? I mean, I see all these other people having success and it doesn't work for me. Well, it's because you're progressing, regressing, progressing, regressing, progressing, regressing. You never progressed long enough to get any further, which is one of the reasons 90% of people that go diamond never go 2-star or 5-star. That's why 90% of the people that go 5-star never go 10-star or 15-star. Because we progress long enough to get to the next achievement, and then we stop and think that we can just hang out on that achievement and just chill there. And you don't chill there. You either keep progressing and rank advancing, like my homegirl Micah Folsom, who went double superstar this year. We just keep setting new goals over and over and over and over. Or you regress. And you may have that lifetime rank, but lifetime ranks don't mean nothing on Thursday, do they? Does anybody get paid according to their lifetime rank? No, you get paid according to your current rank. You may have the fancy jacket or t-shirt or whatever, but come Thursday, you don't take your jacket to the bank or the grocery store. You don't take your jacket to pay for your next vacation. You take a paycheck. And the only way you make paychecks is if you're progressing. And so what you have to do, and this is the hardest but most important part of success, is that I need you to make a decision right now that I'm not all the way in for 3 or 4 weeks at a time. I'm all the way in till the end. That's scary, isn't it? And that's why only 2% of people see the kind of success that we admire. Because 98% of people are too scared to say, I'm all in and I'm not churning back. This is what I did personally. After about 6 months, I finally broke through my barrier, and this is what I said. I said, I'm all in. This is what I want to do with my life. And I'm giving myself 5 years. For 5 years, I'm looking down and I'm focusing in on what I know I need to do. And I'm not even going to look up to find out how long it's taken or where I'm at. I'm zoned in. I'm focused for 5 years. Now, if it gets to the end of 5 years and I'm still broke and my business still hasn't gone anywhere and I still suck, then I'll give myself permission to just be okay with the fact that I suck and I can never amount to anything. But first, I'm going to give myself 5 years of no pulling back. No churning back. I'm all in. Now, can we just be logical? I'm a peacock, so I'm a very emotional person. Okay. That's why I work with a company full of women, because to be honest, I always tell people I'm like 98% woman. It's whatever. It's fine. I don't care. But let's be logical for a minute. Let's be logical. 5 years sounds like forever right now, correct? But how many of you would expect to be able to go get a brand new job in a field you'd never worked in before and build yourself to a multi-six-figure business in the next 6 months? Anybody? Does that sound logical at all? No, that sounds ridiculous. If you told someone, hey, I'm going to go into this brand new field, I've never done it before, I have no experience, but I'm going to work really hard, and in 6 months, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be the CEO. I'm just going to take over the whole company in the next 6 months and have a multi-six-figure business. Does that sound logical? No, that sounds ridiculous. Why is it that so many Beachbody coaches ask me, Josh, I've been doing this for 1.5 years. When is it going to pay off? Dude, 1.5 years? When I was at 1.5 years in my life coaching business, I was making like a couple $100 a month. But I promise you, I was hustling like crazy. My whole first year in business, I made $500. Show me a person on this call that had that bad of a first year. Show me. Just show me. Okay, one person on the call that had that bad of a whole first year. 12 months, guys. Now, here's the sad part. You guys, because you're a part of an MLM, you only get like 70% of the commit or 30% of the commission. I get all the commission. So when I'm saying I only made $500, I mean my sales for the year totaled $500. That's like 2.5 all access challenge packs in a year. Tell me I didn't want to quit. But I was giving myself 5 years. I said what Gary Vee says, if this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, I'm not going to give up after 1 year. I made a decision. I'm all in. I made the decision. I don't get to back out. And that's why we don't want to make the decision, because you want permission to be able to back out whenever you want to be able to back out if there's a rough month. Guess what? Lots of people have a rough month. It's called life. But when you make a decision to be all in, you don't back out when there's a bad month. You don't back out when there's a bad season. You don't back out when people say no. You don't back out when you get nasty messages. You don't back out when people say crappy things about you. You have made a decision. This is what I'm gonna do. John Maxwell says when he first started, he asked, how long will it take? Anybody ever ask that? Anybody ever ask, how long is this gonna take? How many days in a row do I have to message people and talk about their frickin' dog? When are people just going to sign up because I say I want them to? But the more he went, he asked, how far can I go? Guys, it's not about how long it takes. It's about how far can I go? How far? Guys, I've got the rest of my life. Why am I so worried about whether or not I can earn multi-six figures or whatever it is you're pushing for in the next 6 months? When I was 29 years old is when I started on the John Maxwell team. I said, even if it takes 5 years and all I do is break even and in 5 years can just replace my full-time income, then I can still be poor, but at least wake up every day and do what I love for a living. Even if it takes 5 years, I would be personally happy living the rest of my life, still being poor, as long as I got to wake up and do what I loved. Isn't that better than being poor and doing what you hate? For me, it was still a win. But because of my decision, I'm now 33 years old. I have the rest of my life to do what I love. Even if it would have taken 5 years, I'd have been a 34-year-old doing the thing I love, and I'd have the rest of my life to do that and figure out a way to make more money. Why are we in a rush? Because we're freaking Americans. We may have some UK people on here that think us Americans are just idiots because we got to have our coffee in like 30 seconds or less. I ain't got time. Got to have our food shipped to our door because we don't have time to go to the grocery store anymore. I'm not dissing on it. Like I'm all about that life. I'm not dissing on it. I'm just saying, because of our all access, give it to me right now life, sometimes we're just idiots when it comes to business. Because we think we can make one freaking post and we should sell 20 challenge packs. And the only people I know that do that spent 2 years building their following first. Say, oh my gosh, but like I see her and she just posts and she gets like 70 comments with email addresses. That's cool. Do you know how many different times they posted before they got to the point where they could do that? You know how consistently they had to work over and over and over and over? One of my very first clients, I helped her hit top 10 in 2015. And people would always say, well, she's just successful because she has a huge Instagram following. And I'd be like, do you have any idea how much time and energy she's put into building that following? Guess what? You could do the same freaking thing. How about instead of whining and complaining about her Instagram following, you listen to her and go do the same thing? But you have to make the decision that I'm no longer worried about how long it takes. I'm in it for the long haul to see how far I can go. Is this the right company? There isn't a right company. Is it oversaturated? Everything's oversaturated. Everything in the world. There's like 12,000 John Maxwell coaches now. Who cares? What does that have to do with anything? What does that even have to do with anything? The only thing it has to do with is you looking for a reason to not make the decision. The decision I made was I found the thing that changed my life. And when I find the thing that changes my life, this is the right opportunity for me. I don't know if it's the right opportunity for everybody, because it's probably not, but it's the right opportunity for me because personal development changed my life. I'm assuming you're on this call because Beachbody changed your life. Could you go sell some other product and maybe make money a little bit quicker, a little bit faster? I don't know. But did that product change your life? Why the heck would you want to sell something that didn't change your life? That sounds like, why not just go like freaking work at a jewelry store if that's what you're going to do? It just sounds stupid to me. Guys, you can make anything you want successful when it's the thing you believe in. And you make the decision to have that success. And if there's 700 million Beachbody coaches, it doesn't matter. You can still be successful. I love what Grant Cardone says. He said, success isn't a resource. It's not something that there's a limited supply of. It's something that anyone can get. It's not like gold. Like gold, we know it's a resource. There's a limited amount, right? You can only get as much gold as is in the ground, but once it's gone, it's gone. It's not like you can just like produce or create more gold. But success isn't a natural resource that runs out. It is something that you literally produce and you manifest. I live in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Has anyone ever heard of that? Probably not. Okay, a couple people have. Cool. There's literally a new restaurant popping up every freaking day in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Why? Because there's no shortage. People are always willing to spend money on something. You live in T-Town. Oh, Lindsay, what's up? I live down the street from you. You should come see me at Fairfellow Coffee. I'm there all the time working. Come hang with me on First and Lewis. Oh, you don't want to? Okay, that's fine. It's cool. What's whatever. You make the decision. And then you stick with it for as long as it takes. It starts with the decision. Because if you don't have the decision, you will cop out when it gets hard. And can I just burst all of your bubbles right now? It's hard. It's hard. Growing a business is hard. Now, it's rewarding. It's incredibly rewarding. Waking up every day and inspiring people and helping people and making a difference in the world, doing what I love, it's the most incredible feeling in the world. But it's not easy. It's challenging. Every single day I have to face fears. Every single day I have to do things outside of my comfort zone. It's not easy, but it is worth it. Isn't that what we tell people about challenge groups? Has anybody ever actually, if you're telling your clients that Autumn's workout programs are easy, you are lying, because they are not easy. Sitting on the couch and watching TV is easy. Working out, it takes effort. And sometimes cussing. Even worship leaders cuss when they work out with Sean T. It's not easy. So we make a decision, number one. Did you write that down? Did everyone write that down? Write down, I'm making the decision. Put it in first person, okay? And then step two is the commitment. When I made the decision that this is what I'm going to do with my life, with my career, I then committed to whatever process I had to engage in to make it work. I committed to learning social media, even though I sucked bad. I still suck, but I've gotten a whole lot better in the last 4 years. I committed to learning my skill, of course, as a life coach, learning my skill as a speaker, but I committed to all of the unfun stuff. I committed to reaching out to enough people. In fact, I have a joke that when I first started my business, the first year I was trying to build it in person here in Tulsa, nobody wanted to get life coaching or leadership training from the guy who the year before had super long hair and played in a rock band and detailed people's cars. Nobody wanted to talk to that guy. So I went to social media in year two, and I messaged the crap out of everybody on my friends list, and eventually found that network marketers, for some reason, were the people that responded to me the most. So then I started messaging only network marketers. Then I happened to start working with Brittany Powers back when she was still like a pretty newbie coach. And once I realized that Beachbody coaches were awesome, I just went all in on Beachbody. And I had this joke that there was probably a season where all of the Beachbody coaches had a big, huge chat thread talking about who the heck is this Josh Coates guy messaging all of us, trying to give us free calls. P.S. I don't do free calls anymore, so please don't try to respond to that if you have a message waiting in your inbox from 3 years ago. I don't do that anymore. But that's how I built my business, with just messaging the crap out of everyone. And I knew 90% of people are going to hate my guts, but 10% of people will give me a chance. That's all I need. I don't need 100% of people to like me or to believe in me or care about me. I just need 10% of people to give me a chance to add value to their lives. because I know that what I have to offer is awesome, because it changed my life and I know it'll change your life. So I committed to doing whatever it would take to make my business successful. 90% of the people on this call do not do all 4 vital behaviors on a daily basis. Just going to go ahead and call you out and let you know that I already know, because I have spoken on 500 team calls, and I've probably had I've probably had one-on-one sessions with 500 different Beachbody coaches at some point in the last couple of years. And I know when I'm speaking on a team call that 90% of you are not doing invites on a daily basis, which means you're not committed. Now, you like to pretend you're committed because you have Rona and Word Swag and Canva, and you make these pretty posts every single day. And to us, we're fooled. We're like, oh, this girl's rocking it. Mike's on here. We got another dude. Thank you for being another dude. This dude's rocking it. It's very rare that I get to say this dude. I always have to put things in girl voices. This dude's rocking it. But the thing is, you're faking us all out by posting every day. You're not doing the stuff behind the scenes that actually builds success, which is talking to people. Why? Because that's the hard and scary part of business that nobody wants to do. Nobody wants to do that crap. Everyone wants to have their own business. Nobody wants to sell. Am I right? In fact, we even say things like, oh, I'm not a salesperson. I just share my story. Lie. We do share our story. But at the end of the day, if you don't make sales, you don't get a paycheck. That's just the reality. Now, of course, we go with the mentality of a storyteller, of someone who adds value, of someone who helps people. But at the end of the day, there's got to be a transaction, which makes it a sale. And we want to do everything but create that transaction. And if you really want to have success, I'm just going to tell you right now that you're going to have to commit to doing the things that no one else wants to do. Dave Ramsey says you got to live like no one else now, so that later you can live like no one else. I'm telling you, no one wants to do invites. No one wants to do follow-ups. But those are the things that build your business. Those are the things that make your posts actually pay off. See, your posts are just like free advertising. Free advertising. Hey, look how awesome I am. Look how awesome life is. Look how good you can look. But at the end of the day, we still have to go talk to the people. And it's just that if we're really good at posting, it makes our conversations a little bit easier because they're excited to talk to us. If I get a message from Jachanya, man, I'm excited. I'm like, oh, that's the high energy, crazy girl. She's messaging me. She wants me in her challenge group. That's the whole point of posting, is to create those connections so that when you go to do the conversations and the invites, there's already some credibility and rapport built with people. John Maxwell says, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. The whole point of social media and daily posting is to get people to know us, to like us, and to trust us. But guess what? Nobody knows where to sign up unless you actually tell them. And so you have to say, I'm fully committed. I want everyone on this call right now over in the chat box to tell me, I want you to be honest, what you have not been fully committed to and what you are making a decision tonight to commit to from here on. Whether that's your convos, whether that's your invites, your follow-ups, personal development. For some of you, maybe your workouts. It's okay. This is a safe place. This is a safe place. You're not in trouble. We don't hate you. We're not going to look down on you. We just want to help you get where you said you want to be in life. Okay? Put it over here in the chats, over here. Keep them coming. Keep them coming until I see 26 answers. Daily rather than a few times a week. That's where the money's at right there, Holly. Convos, invites, and recognition. Workouts and posting has not been consistent. Posting, consistent workouts. Inviting, teaching, and being duplicatable. Everything. Megan, kudos for being honest, okay? Kudos. 15-star, Jatanya. You know, I like to hear that. So here's the thing. This is where things change. It starts with just being honest. It starts with just being honest about what we're not doing. It's not about condemning ourselves. It's not about feeling guilty, but we do have to make ourselves aware. And we do have to let that pain sink in just a little bit. Because pain is what forces us to change. Has anybody ever touched a fire and not got real fast, real quick? If you're afraid of snakes and a snake comes up on you, dude, you'll run like Carl Lewis. I don't even know if anybody on here is old enough to know who Carl Lewis is. Sorry, nobody else was alive then, Josh. That's fine. Or no one was watching the Olympics at 5 years old like I was. It's okay. I personally use fear to my advantage. I use pain to my advantage. I'm going to let myself feel that pain for a minute, and then I say this. I'm going to use this pain as motivation to never, ever, ever have to feel this way again. I'm going to go do something about this. I'm going to go make a change. I'm going to make I'm going to commit tonight, right now, to changing. Not because I'm going to see results tonight, because you won't. You're not going to rank advanced Thursday because you made a decision on Wednesday. Okay? But because 6 months from now, I will see the payoff and the rewards. I'm constantly trying to live my life in alignment with where I want to be 6 months from now, because I know that nothing good I do today will pay off tomorrow. Now, anything bad I do usually pays off tomorrow. Anybody ever ate too much food late at night and you feel like crap when you wake up in the morning? But good things don't pay off so quickly. It takes time. So I need you. Here's the next thing I want you to do. Next thing I want you to do. This is going to be your fuel. And this is going to be your motivation. Because at the end of the day, there are lots of distractions that come up. There's lots of other things. Sometimes there's the pain of needing money right now. There's lots of other painful things in life. So what I need you to do now is I need you to comment over here and tell me what you're fighting for. What is going to be your fuel to do the thing you just told me you need to do? For me personally, I had 3 kids at the time. Now I have 4. My kids were my fuel because I got sick and tired of telling my kids, I'm sorry, Daddy doesn't have the money. I'm sorry we can't go out to eat. Daddy doesn't have the money. Sorry you can't go to birthday parties. Daddy doesn't have the money to buy your friend a present. Sorry you can't do this. No, sorry, nope, 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 nope. Over and over and over and over. And I said, I'm sick and tired of my kids being limited by my lack of success. I'm going to do something about it. That was my fuel. What's your fuel? I need to hear about your fuel. Done with my office job. Hallelujah to that. Freedom of time and money. Single mom of 4 kids working 3 jobs. So done with that. What a fighter, man. Show my children and hubby that I can. Not having to commute 2 hours a day, having choices because my income is stable. No more cube life. My family, my future, grandkids working for me, financial freedom, freedom to get out of dental office tied to someone else's schedule. Love that. Guys, this needs to be wrote down somewhere. If you need to put it on your mirror, if you need to put it on your computer screen, whatever you have to do. Here's the thing. We're going to get super real. I'm going to kind of close it up with this. Not that I ever close. I do come from a long line of preachers, FYI, so that's why I talk so much. Here's the thing. The reality of it is this. Every single time you scroll your news feed, instead of doing your invites, every single time you watch Netflix, instead of doing your business. Now I do watch Netflix after I do my business. Okay. That's okay. It's not a sin to watch Netflix. Just do your business first. Okay. Every time you sit around and watch cat videos on Facebook, everyone's like, what? Cat videos? I know it was a thing at one point. I know it's not anymore. It's still funny though. Every single time you goof around with Snapchat filters instead of doing your vital behaviors, every single time you spend doing something that wastes time, you are literally telling all of these people and all of these things that they don't matter to you in life as much as Netflix, as much as Snapchat. I dare you to go look your kids in the eye and say, I'm so sorry I didn't build the life that you deserve. There were just too many good shows in the Netflix library. I dare you. Now, none of you would do that, but that's literally what you're doing. And I told myself, I will give up my personal entertainment time if that's what it takes to build a business. I didn't give up my family time. I still had intentional time with my kids. If anything, to be honest, having a business made me more intentional with my kids because I knew I had to be. Okay? But what I did give up was spending 6 hours a day watching TV. Anyone that says they don't have time for a business but watches TV is a liar. I know I'm getting like really deep here. Like there's a reason my nickname is Mean Josh on team calls. Okay, there's a reason. But this is because you just told me over in the chat, you told me how important these things are to you. You told me what they stand for, and I want to help you get those things. Because those are the things you value. I have a buddy who's working on getting his own brewery up and going. He said, Josh, one day I realized he was playing video games every single night, and then before bed, spending like 30 minutes working on like studying and doing stuff like that. He said, I realized at one point, I say this is what I want with my life, and yet I spend more time playing video games than I do on this. I say that I value my dream, but my time says otherwise. It was on that day that he had a wake-up call, he had a revelation, a come to Jesus moment, whatever you want to call it, that he realized his time was the true measurement of what he valued, not what he said he valued. Where is your time going? Are you putting your time into the things that you said over here, or is your time going somewhere else? I want to help you get the thing that you say you value, but the way to do that is to put in the time. Another Dave Ramsey moment. Yes. You want to know what you value? Look at your checkbook. Absolutely. And it's the same with your schedule. If you want to see what you really value, see what you spend the most time on. So this is the way we succeed in life, guys. At anything we want to do, we make a decision that this is what we want and this is what we're going to get, no matter how hard it is, no matter how long it takes. And then we commit to the process that it takes, learning whatever we need to learn, doing whatever we need to do to get there. And then we finally have success. Everyone you see that's ever been successful has gone through the first 2 steps first. You can't get success without them. It doesn't accidentally happen. It doesn't magically happen. It doesn't fall on you. You don't run into it. Like my favorite quote, I say that about every quote. I worked my entire life to be an overnight success. Nothing happens overnight, guys. So here's what you're going to do. Is, Jitanya, can you make a thread in the team page after this and have everyone comment their stuff in there? And that way the people that weren't on live can also chime in on this. Here's the thing that I love about the team is that you find out you're not the only one struggling. Sometimes we get convinced by social media that we suck and everyone else is just killing it. And sometimes you just need to hear, we're all struggling. We're all coming up short. We're all failing. And then we come together as a community to support each other. We come together. That's what the team is for, guys, to come together to conquer and crush goals together. We go through it together. Okay? So she's going to make a team thread. And just like you would in a challenge group, I want you to go through the thread and I want you to encourage people. Okay? And I want you to have each other's back. And I want you to support each other. And I want you to let everyone know Beatles are playing in your head. Oh man, I love the Beatles. Gonna get this peacock all distracted talking about the Beatles. And we're gonna come together right now. We're gonna come together and we're gonna crush goals together. Okay? And if you're someone that needs help, I'll stick around and answer some questions. If you are someone that needs help, if you need additional help, if you need additional accountability, I run a group, a new group that I just launched. It's called the Push Life Community. And the whole point of this group is two things. Number one, I see people that make 2-week pushes, 3-week pushes, and sometimes 4-week pushes. But like I talked about at the beginning of the call, success doesn't happen in 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. It happens ongoing. So the Push Life Community was basically my idea to create an ongoing accountability system for your business. It comes with a Push Life app that includes all of your vital behaviors. So you have to check off your vital behaviors on a regular basis. And it has a health bet pot because I learned from Beachbody that health bet pots help people stay motivated and see it through. So basically the group is $99 a month with 25 of that going to a health bet pot. Cool thing is I also know the second motivation behind this group is that too many of you are paying way too much money to go through a whole bunch of trainings that you really don't need. Branding trainings and funnel trainings and I don't have anything against these trainings, but 90% of you aren't ready for those kind of trainings because you just aren't even doing your 4 vitals. We just need to do your 4 vitals. And then when that sees success, then we'll invest in some other things in our business. So the other thing that I do in this training is I feature a once a month guest speaker to share resources that would usually only be available to you in these other paid training groups that you pay a whole bunch of money to go through. And then, by the way, get distracted from your business and stop doing your vitals. I made a way to stay focused on the vitals while also learning new skills and trades. Yesterday, Crystal Currier spoke on Instagram and how she built her Instagram to 40,000 plus followers. And literally one of the best trainings I've ever been a part of in my life. You get free access to it in the Push Life community. So it's $99. You can sign up. I'm going to give you the website right here, and I'm going to hand it back to you, Jatanya. Your name's kind of fun, but also hard to say. You can sign up there. It's called the Push Life Community. It's basically an ongoing challenge group for your business with monthly themes, ongoing push, and a health bet to help you stay motivated. Okay? Obviously, if you have questions, you can go to the website. You can email me there, or you can hit me up here. It's back to you. I can stick around and answer questions. I got more coffee to drink, so I'm down to hang.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Josh.
You're welcome.
I took a bunch of notes and hit home on a few places where I'm like, oh, crap. So thank you for giving me a kick in the pants. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask Josh before we jump off? Don't be scared. He's got coffee.
I got coffee.
He's got a coffee and a brick wall behind. I'm like, should I get a brick wall behind me or like wood or something cool? Because
it's just a canvas that I bought off of Amazon.
Not a real brick wall. Any questions? Melinda, you're the question girl. You always have questions.
Bring up Melinda. Here's the thing. If you have a question, I promise you 75% of the people on this call have the same question, and they either weren't bold enough to ask it or they just didn't realize in the moment that they had the question until you ask it.
I have a question, and this is something that when you asked it in the chat, or you told people to put it in the chat, I was like, oh, I don't know. I know what my goals are.
Yeah.
And my small goals, my big goals. But then you asked to write what is our why? Like, what are we fighting for?
Yes.
And I kind of was like, I don't know. I'm financially comfortable without Beachbody.
Correct.
I don't know. So I'm like, how do you figure out what that is if
Yes. So here's the thing. This is very, very common for people at your level, and it's almost it's one of the number one things I address on first calls with my one-on-one clients. There is two forms of motivation. One is our why, and one is our mission. And when you've created a life where your why no longer is a big deal because you have the things you want, then we tap into our mission, which is how many other people can I help get what I have?
Yeah. Okay.
Because at this point, like, I'm good. But I have a team, I have a couple assistants. I have a tech guy. I have a photographer that does part-time stuff for me. They all need more hours. They all need more money, and they can't get that unless my business gets bigger. I have a couple churches that I go to, one when I have my kids, and then one that I go to when I don't have my kids. It's more like my age kind of people. So I got two different churches that need money. They always, like, churches need resources, right? I've got friends who have my favorite coffee shop that I hang out with every day. I want to help them. My next project is going to be something I call Legacy Label, which is going to be like a record label for local businesses and entrepreneurs, where I'm going to fund other businesses. I can't do that unless, like, my business is making enough money to have extra, right? So once we've got the things that we want, then we have to ask ourselves, what is the cause in this world that I want to take on? And part of that is your team. Seeing all of the team members on here that you want to help. And at the end of the day, you can't help them if you don't model, if you don't set the example. Number one mistake people make when they become successful is they let up on the gas, thinking that, well, I've got to this level of success, I can let up on the gas. And what they really do is they hurt their entire team, because when you let off momentum, it affects their energy and it affects their momentum. And the only way they can keep pushing is if you keep pushing. But then we have to ask ourselves, what are the causes in this world? Who do I want to contribute to? Who do I want to help? Because life is about so much more than just me and my family. Whether that be your church, whether that be a nonprofit organization, whether it be a social movement, whether that be, adopting pets or adopting kids, whatever that is, we got to just figure out what's the thing in this world that I want to contribute to. And I'm going to use that as my fuel and my source of motivation to help make something else in this world better. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I broke the ice.
Okay.
All right, bring it.
Me out, Tatiana, so I have to say something. So this was amazing, Josh. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm 2 years in. And as far as having a bad year or whatnot, I haven't made any money. I've spent way more money on Beachbody for myself and to get this going, but it's worth it to me. It's all an investment in a business that I know I'm building. So I am all in. I'm totally loved everything you said about that. And I know I'm building a business, and I know that costs time, money, effort, and all of that. So here's a funny question that I have for you, because it's something I've been wrestling with in my brain.
Okay.
And something that's been happening to me lately. And you didn't necessarily touch on it, and I don't know if this is opening up a whole other can of worms, but how do you fight against the fear of success? Like, for me, I'm a dental hygienist. I'm in the operatory, and what I really want to do is get myself out of it, so I have to replace my income. But it also creates a fear of what my life looks like when that happens. And so, like, I feel like I get momentum, and then I do backpedal a little bit because I'm afraid of what success looks like and trading that out. Does that make sense? So I'm afraid of success. And so then I freeze.
Yeah, let's go deeper. We're gonna have to do a little life coaching here, okay? But this is okay. It's okay, because if you have this fear, someone else does too. Okay? So explain to me more in depth what it is about success that you're afraid of.
How it changes, I guess, life, like what it would look like. Like I become a success, and then I do give up hygiene. I say that's what I want, and I do because I want more freedom to do other things in life. but it also scares me. What if I trade it out and then I fail? I guess that's my fear of success. So like I start to succeed. I say, okay, it's time to back out of hygiene, and then I fail. And so I guess I'm afraid of that point of failure, I guess.
Yeah. So it's not really the fear of success in this sense. It's actually the fear of failure, because you're afraid. It's not that you're afraid of becoming successful. It's you're afraid that you can't hold on to success.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Sorry, you just moved from the left side to the right side. So
it's easy to take a job and go get a paycheck, and I know I can do that. But reaching a level of success on my own, I guess I'm afraid of depending on myself for that success. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, because we all have a subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is being programmed every single day with what we hear, what we say, and what we do. You have programmed your subconscious mind for years to depend on someone else for your money. So now it scares the crap out of you to depend on yourself for money. Which, if you really think about it for a minute, okay? I mean, we all have fears, okay? And I combat my fears with affirmations, where basically I take the negative and I throw a positive. Let me give you an example, okay? I have a fear that I will run out of things to share. I've spoke on like hundreds of team calls / webinars, like hundreds. I've launched so many training groups. Like, how many more things can I have to say, right? But if I'm really logical and think about it, I read every single day. I listen to audiobooks every single day. I meet new people every single day. If I'm constantly learning, how could I possibly run out of things to teach? Unless I've already learned everything there is to learn, in which case, why am I still reading and listening to books? Obviously, there are more things to learn, correct? So what I do is I say every single morning in my car right on the way to the coffee shop, I say, I'm constantly learning, reading, listening, observing, analyzing, and so I always have new things to share. I always have new value to give. Now, you have programmed yourself to depend on someone else. So what we now have to do is reprogram yourself to learn how to depend on you. And here's what I want you to think about logically, because you're emotionally attached to your belief system, okay? In your head, it makes perfect sense to depend on someone else for an income. And it makes no sense at all to depend on yourself, because you're just human. You could fail. But from an outside perspective, because I'm not emotionally attached to your fear, it's very easy for me to say something like, why in the world is it safer to depend on someone else? You don't know if they're doing vitals for that business. You don't know if they're growing the business. You don't know if they're reading and listening and developing their leadership and business skills. You don't know if they're marketing. You don't know if they're going to sell the company next year and you'll lose your job. You literally know nothing about what those people are doing to make things stable. So by depending on someone else for a check, you actually have zero control over whether or not that check continues to show up. When you depend on yourself, you're in 100% control. And if your business starts to do this, which mine has done a couple times, guess what I get to do? I get to go, oops, I screwed up. Let's pop it back up. Let's pick the level back up. Let's pick back up on our activity, on our energy. And we can always fix the things that we're in control of. And let's go a step further, just for the sake of logic, and say that if something happens that you do fail, you can always go back to a day job. You said it out of your own mouth. You literally said it out of your own mouth. But unfortunately, you are emotionally attached to the fear, so there is no logic. In our brain, there is emotions and logic. And this is one of the reasons that I'm get paid a whole lot of money to have one-on-one sessions with people, is because I'm trained to help people basically disassociate the emotions to just look at the logic of what's actually happening here. You see, does that make sense? So what I need you to do is to write out some affirmations talking about how I don't put the negative in my affirmations, okay? Because that just triggers negativity. What I do is I just simply take the fear and I say the opposite, and I say what I'm going to do to keep that fear from coming true. So if I were you, I would say something like, every single day, I am committed to learning and growing and building to a new level. So I always have a solid and permanent income. It's always growing. It's always expanding. I'm always on the rise. And what I did is I combated the fear and the worry of, I'm not a reliable source. I'm not dependable. Does that make sense?
That's wonderful. Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
probably something I'm not doing is enough self-talk in that way. Although I talk a lot about affirmations with my challengers. So that goes say the stuff we tell our challengers, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to teach and not to learn ourselves.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. And that's one of the main reasons I added affirmations into the app in the Art of Recruiting and the Push Life community. I used to just have personal development on there. And then I ran a mindset group and I was like, why am I not making people do affirmations? If people did affirmations every day, I'm telling you, your belief level, if you're not doing affirmations, I'm telling you, you're robbing yourself. I love what Brian Tracy says. No one else but you can say the word I. There's something so powerful about saying, I am confident. I am bold. I am courageous. No one else can say that. Now they can tell you to be courageous. They can tell you to be bold. They can tell you to be confident, but only me can use the word I and turn it into a statement of what I believe. And there's something incredibly powerful about it. I personally say that affirmations is kind of like our spiritual workout. Affirmations is like literally there's something on the inside of you that I believe that we are spiritual beings. And it's like when we do affirmations, it's literally like we are working out the muscles of our spiritual being, which is more powerful than anything else we can do. I won't get off topic on that, but affirmations are good. Do them.
Love it. Thank you, Melinda, for opening up and asking my question. Josh, you are incredible. It is 10:15, so I won't keep you up too late. I love the affirmation thing. I do that for myself, and I actually do it for my kids.
I do too.
Every morning before school, I do that. Joshua, my oldest, is not very excited about it, but my youngest loves it. He loves listening. Say those wonderful things about himself. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. We want to encourage you. If you can, give him a shout out on social media. If you've done Insta stories, give them some love. So following, right? We all love that.
I'm working on it. My Insta stories are still rough, but I'm working on it.
No, you're good. I always see you out with your kids and doing stuff like that. So fun. You're doing good. Keep working on it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that affirmation.
Amazing. Thank you so much. You guys, thank you for being on and spending the time with us this evening. Hopefully you will get some rest tonight, get in Success Club for November, and have an amazing day tomorrow. So love you guys. Thanks so much. Thank you, Josh. Talk to you later.
You're welcome.
Bye
Bye guys.